I'm grieving the loss of my grandmother.
I'm grieving the loss of my friend's brother.
I'm grieving the loss of my nuclear family.
2 years ago, my best friend lost her older brother. He was only 2 years older than her.
She was the central figure of our family. She had 4 children, and they all had multiple children, my cousins, and all of us grew up within 20 minutes of each other, same high school, same church, same friends. So she was the prominent person in all of our lives that tied us all together.
I was attached to my father and the place that he had in my life, and how he and my mother were a combined unit that took care of me. And I don't really have that same structure anymore.
He passed away on his 8th overdose. She had been living with this for a really long time, and I had been there for the 3 years that he had had a drug issue. So I'd been through all her ups and downs with that whole situation.
I feel like what really made it worse was that I tried to prepare for what happened, and trying to look for clues and trying to figure out what was going on made it even harder and hurt more.
Had spent brunch with her the morning of, and when they dropped her off and then came back, she had unfortunately suddenly passed, and I was away at the time, so there was no way I could have prepared for it.
I remember I was really tired. I stayed up really late the night before. I was actually with her the night before, and it was so strange. I read that text, and it just like, I didn't even know what to do. I remember I think I maybe cried, and then I passed out. I woke up, and I thought it was a dream. Like, actually, I thought it was a dream. I didn't actually realize that it had happened, and I looked at my phone again, and then I saw the text was still there. And I just remember for like 4 hours, I just kept looking in the mirror and looking at things, and everything just felt like really fake. Like it wasn't actually real. And I don't know, I'd known him for 6 years, and I wasn't super close, but she was my best friend. And I'm sorry.
The hardest part of the grieving process was the moment of initial awe. I walked into a room, all 18 of my family members are there. And I'm looking around and everyone is bawling. I'm like, why is everyone bawling? So I pull my youngest cousin aside. I look him straight in the eye. I go, Anthony, what the hell happened? And he was the youngest one, and I felt bad for him, and he had to tell me to my face what had happened 2 hours earlier. And in that room, all of us were breaking down, and it was probably one of the worst moments I've ever experienced, just due to the pure shock of the situation.
The hardest part of the grieving process was probably trying to talk about the things that occurred with my dad, and him not having the emotional strength to even try to have a discussion, to even try to talk to me about it. And I realized that I was gonna have to go through this on my own, that he wasn't gonna help me understand what he did, because I feel like he didn't even really understand it either.
No, it gets easier, becomes less frequent, but if someone will bring it up, I'll always be grieving.
I think it gets better. It gets dull.
No, I don't think it ever stops. I think that you become used to it,